So we thought we were trying to think of the message to end today's rally on. And we couldn't think of a better message than a message from the Mayor of Glen Innes, Carol Sparks. And I don't know if you know about Carol, she's a long-standing volunteer in the Rural Fire Service. She's the Greens Mayor of Glen Innes. But she's also lost her home and her community in the fires. So I'll let Carol speak for Carol. And I'll just read on what she says, and she gives this message. I write from Gumbunya country, neighbouring nearby Bunjalung and Nurrawal, to all of you gathered on Gadigal land. The place is called Waitillaba, and while fittingly it means a place where fires go out, it's also a place that's been destroyed by fire.
What do we want? Climate action! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate action! When do we want it? Now!
I write this personal message as a great-grandmother from among the ashes of a community that last month sustained monumental loss of 2 lives, dozens of homes, with many of my friends, including family members, among the injured and the homeless. We were all but wiped off the map despite the readiness and the long experience of our RFS volunteers, and all the preparation and multiple hazard reduction burns that have been undertaken in both November last year and September this year, along with back burns during the September fires. The area burnt again anyway. Even the dust burns in these fires. A month later, we're still in shock, even as we rally as a community to walk towards some sort of future. Not only a future for our people, but for the remaining plants and animals. Our Greens group has donated a substantial portion of local members' funds to the wildlife carers and volunteers that are hand-rearing 65 orphan joeys with daily feeds. We've all been on multiple trips to the fireground each week, looking to provide appropriate feed for native wildlife wherever we can locate them. Somewhere, I suppose, the Prime Minister of this country is praying for us, and who knows if the Premier of New South Wales has anything to add. The only meaningful expressions of support we've received from government MPs have been from the member for Tablelands, Adam Marshall, and the New South Wales Education Minister, who's promised to reopen the public school in the new year. Meanwhile, successive coalition and Labor governments have continued to receive massive donations from fossil fuel companies, which shows in their willingness to continue opening coal mines and their unwillingness to take meaningful action on climate change. They refuse to count the cost to communities like mine, to the dozens of towns and regional centres up and down the coast and inland who are cut off, fearful, unable to breathe, unable to travel, unable to work, unable to grow food or find clean water. They won't count the cost to Rapville and Tenterfield and Torrington and Nimboida and Bobbin and Termeil, and a list that is rapidly becoming too long to name. The only cost they're prepared to consider is a potential loss of profits to their fossil fuel donors. My warning, and this is from Carol Sparks, the Greens Mayor of Glen Innes, who lost her home and her community's home in the fires recently. She says this: my warning and my challenge to all of you is this: my present is your future, unless you're prepared now to take sustained and determined action against the fossil fuel-fed politicians who have delivered us these ashes. The ballot box is not the end of democracy, it's only the beginning, and every democracy needs its citizens to safeguard its foundations when politicians are unwilling to do so. The Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, wants you all to be quiet Australians. Will you obey? For at the very core of our democracy is the requirement for a government to enjoy the consent of the governed. Think of what you've experienced recently, the smoke and the dust and the fear of the last few weeks. Look at the hundreds of fires across thousands of kilometres of this continent, this Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander land where our colonial nation has committed ecocide. My question to all of you is this: do you consent to this? And if your answer is no, then the challenge is also on you. What are you going to do about it? From Carol Sparks. the Mayor of Glen Innes. Let's join with her and communities like her all across this continent and stand up and make them take action on climate change. Thank you.
I've got a friend from Santiago in Chile. We were walking in the streets of Melbourne and we were protesting, and I grabbed him by the shoulder and I looked up at the skyscrapers and I said, you know what? At least we can fucking protest like this, man. And then the next week, the day I came to Sydney, he was in a really distressed state, and I said, what's wrong? And he said, there's just been a military shutdown curfew in Santiago for protesting the price of trains. 2 days after protesting, they got the military out and said anyone out after 9 o'clock, they'll shoot them dead on sight. He was worried for his family's life. His family said, we're not going outside, don't you worry. Don't you worry, Jose, we'll stay inside, we're not gonna die for this. We have the fucking beauty and the right to be in this country and fucking do this. Look, he brought me down by the hand, got in the water, pulled me down like a gentleman copper, gave me his name, showed me so much respect and showed me nothing. You do that in Russia, you do that in China, you do that in Hong Kong at the moment, you do that in Santiago, they'll shoot you, they'll fucking beat you down. Be fucking thankful you live in this country. This is such a beautiful fucking land to be in. So just... the Opera House if you want to see another performance art and get our cocks out for climate change, right? Windmills for windmills, alright? It's a renewables. Thank you all, you're amazing.